His fans and family are asking questions and they are owed some answers. We're going to try and get to the bottom of it on 5 Live at 5 p.m. Also, the Moose Wala murder is on top of our agenda. And at 5:30, at least 3 of the 7 people believed to have shot and killed Sidhu Moose Wala have been identified. I also have 3 pieces of breaking news and video footage that hasn't been seen before. That's coming up on 5 Live at 5 p.m.
In association with Sensodyne Daily Sensitivity Protection.
A non-smoker, non-drinker, healthy and fit.
आज भी जब वो पल मुझको याद आते हैं.
Scare and alarm over KK's sudden death. Fans and family demand to know how KK died. Heat stroke, heart attack, what else could it be? Gone too soon, but India wants answers. Was it a deadly cocktail of negligence and chaos? What killed our beloved KK? So what killed KK? Millions of fans around the country, around the world, who've been watching coverage of his death, the unnatural circumstances in which he was taken out from his concert, and what happened thereafter. There are still many questions. Remember, KK will be cremated tomorrow in Mumbai at 2 p.m. But before that, there are questions, and we're going to get you the details of how this most beloved singer passed away shockingly in Kolkata last evening. I'm Shiv Aroor, this is 5 Live, and these are the headlines. KK's post-mortem rules out unnatural death. Music industry mourns the sudden demise of the iconic singer. Cremation will be held in Mumbai tomorrow. Mismanagement and chaos marred KK's last concert in Kolkata. Fans being sprayed with fire extinguishers caught on camera. Mega BJP and Trinamool blame game erupts in Kolkata. Meanwhile, Enforcement Directorate issues notice to Rahul and Sonia Gandhi in the National Herald case. Congress cries political vendetta, says Modi government misusing agencies. Rahul Gandhi seeks more time to present himself because he's abroad. Sidhu Moose Wala murder plot unravels from Tihar jail in Delhi to Punjab prisons. Cops grill gangster Lawrence Bishnoi in Delhi. Forensic team to study the shootout video. We've got 3 big news breaks coming up. First carved stone for the Ram Mandir sanctum has been placed by UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Says invaders had attacked India's faith. Pledges to make Ram Mandir India's national temple.
अपने नापाक इरादों के माध्यम से भारत की आस्था पर प्रहार किया था, अंततः भारत की विजय हुई।
रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल।
Fans and admirers of the iconic singer KK are still in disbelief that he's gone. And before I get you a piece of breaking news that's come out from the post-mortem that's been conducted on the singer, these are the images that are emblazoned in everyone's minds right now. The chaos that took place at the concert, KK on camera at his final concert, complaining about the heat, clearly exhausted from the rising temperatures there. and then that very unsettling video of a clearly ashen-faced KK being escorted out of that stadium. It is very clear that something is wrong. It was a very short while later that he collapsed in his hotel room and then was declared dead. But before I get you deeper into the big questions that we have, and we will ask them here on India Today, on behalf of the family, the friends and the fans of KK, we've got some breaking news coming in. We've gotten access to the initial pointers from the preliminary post-mortem that's been conducted on singer KK, and it rules out unnatural death. The preliminary post-mortem report indicates that nothing unnatural has occurred to the singer KK. The final report is to be published in about 72 hours' time, is what we are told at this point of time. A pathological condition of internal organs, mainly the heart, has been concluded, but there was nothing unnatural in the death. Remember, the Kolkata police had registered a case of unnatural death, and the preliminary post-mortem has ruled out unnatural death at this point of time. A more detailed post-mortem with reasons for why the singer, who was only 53 years old and seemingly fit with no pre-existing diseases or conditions, passed away in this swift and shocking manner. India Today's Indrajit Kundu, who's accessed the first pieces of information from that preliminary post-mortem, is with me live. Let's go straight across to him. Indro, not an unnatural death, says the preliminary indicators from the post-mortem. What else can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Shiv. That is exactly what we are hearing from the team that conducted the post-mortem, the autopsy at the state-run SSKM hospital. In fact, the mortal remains have now been handed over to KK's family, and they've already, moved out from the airport. As you suggested, that the cremation will be taking place tomorrow in Mumbai. However, in the run-up to this entire thing, there'll be so many questions given the complete chaos and mismanagement that we've seen caught on camera at the concert that took place yesterday. And therefore, there were reasons to believe that, could those have led to this absolutely tragic demise of this artist? However, what we are learning from both, the doctors, the team of doctors who conducted the post-mortem, as well as police sources who were there at the hotel where KK was putting up in Kolkata. There were forensics team, there were scientific teams of the detective department. They have all sources have been telling us that, they're ruling out any foul play. They're ruling out any unnatural causes at this point in time. It looks like it will be a medical condition due to which the singer had to lose his life. What exactly is the medical condition will only be clear once the final report comes out.
Yes.
Because there will be a few more chemical tests that needs to be done. So this is the preliminary, version. Prima facie, doctors are saying they're ruling out any unnatural, cause behind this death. We saw that visual, in fact, and some of these visuals that have gone viral.
Yes.
He was very, very energetic at that concert yesterday. However, what I have also been able to gather, the sequence of events all through the day, is that this hall, this auditorium where this program was taking place, has a capacity of 2,486 seats. However, as the caretaker and other eyewitnesses have told us, the audience was much, much bigger, almost double the size. And therefore, even though this is a renovated, newly built auditorium, the AC was working in full blast. The caretaker told me that all the, entry points of this auditorium, they were all open. And as I showed, some of the gates were also broken, given the amount of barrage of young students who wanted to enter, because there were no tickets. It was all for free passes. It's a college fest, and those who did not have passes had still lined up there with the hope that they would somehow be able to barge into it. And that is precisely what happened when the authorities could not manage it.
Indro, we're just going to get to the negligence, the issue of negligence and possible negligence in just a moment. I want to focus for a moment on the post-mortem details themselves. Where is KK's, where are his mortal remains just now? Because the cremation is going to happen in Mumbai tomorrow, so it'll be flying out, I'm guessing, shortly. But obviously his admirers and fans will want to know, is it still at the hospital at this time?
No. So, KK's mortal remains all through last night was at the CMRI hospital, a private hospital where he was taken initially, where doctors pronounced him dead. This morning, when his family came and they gave consent for the post-mortem, his body was transferred to the state-run SSKM hospital, where, in fact, the autopsy took place. Following which, the body was handed over to the family. The body was taken to the State Cultural Center at Rabindra Sadan, where we saw that image of gun salute being provided and full state honours being bestowed upon him. Then the body has been taken to the airport at around 5:45. The family will be flying out to Mumbai. So by tonight, KK's mortal remains will be in Mumbai, and tomorrow, as you said just a short while back, the final rites will be taking place in Mumbai.
Okay, Indra, thanks very much for getting us the latest on that. Viewers all across the country watching our tribute coverage will be hanging on to every one of those details. Now, the sequence of events starting from a few hours before the concert in Kolkata right until the point that KK was declared dead, shockingly, a lot of it happened on camera. From KK himself announcing the concert to his vast audience of admirers and fans, to him being captured on stage. Those are images that no fan is going to forget in a hurry. Take a look at the sequence of events of how KK died. This was 53-year-old singer Krishna Kumar Kunnath, KK's last performance before he breathed his last. Held at Kolkata's Nazrul Manch Auditorium on Tuesday evening. KK was performing before a capacity crowd wildly cheering. During the show, KK was caught complaining about excessive heat. He was soon taken out of the auditorium after feeling dizzy and complaining of uneasiness. According to police sources, KK reached his hotel at around 9:40 p.m. after the concert. Once at his hotel, KK called the reception manager and sought help, complaining that he was feeling unwell. But moments later, the singer collapsed. Hotel staff and his personal manager Ritesh Bhatt rushed KK to a hospital in an unconscious state. Doctors there declared KK brought dead with no pulse or heart rate. Sources revealed that there were injury marks found on his face and head. The Kolkata police have registered a case of unnatural death. The body was sent for post-mortem to ascertain the cause of KK's death. Meanwhile, the BJP has referred to crowd mismanagement at KK's event, where fire extinguishers were caught on camera being fired at unruly fans, claiming massive negligence.
আমি জানি না কেন বারবার এই ধরনের ঘটনা ঘটে। এখানকার পুলিশ প্রশাসন কোনো বিখ্যাত ব্যক্তি সেলিব্রিটি বিশেষ করে এলে সাধারণ মানুষের মধ্যে একটা উন্মাদনা থাকে, অব্যবস্থা তৈরি হয়, কিন্তু সেটা দেখার জন্য প্রশাসনের দায়িত্ব থাকা উচিত। এই ধরনের শিল্পীদেরকে প্রোটেকশন দেওয়া। আপনি ভাবুন, হাজার হাজার লোকের মধ্যে হলে এসি বন্ধ করে দিলে, এই যা গরম, বাইরে আমরা অসুস্থ হয়ে যাচ্ছি, ভেতরে কি হতে পারে।
Not only there, incidentally I was the chief guest of the function. He has taken 4 programs in 2 days.
So was there some mismanagement from the part of the manager?
Not at all. On behalf of the police, it was totally perfect. I saw thousands and thousands of students. They were loitering in the streets, but police could not lathi charge. Police should not lathi charge.
The untimely death of KK bringing heartbreak for India, shattering his huge legion of fans. With Indrajit Kundu in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today. Now, unnatural death has been ruled out in the preliminary post-mortem of singer KK, but the questions of whether negligence compounded his health condition leading to his untimely death are questions that are currently still exploding, and these are questions that require answers. Just consider the following. We're not making any conclusions because only doctors and experts can. But KK was clearly sweating profusely. It looked like the air conditioning was not working. He was wiping himself continuously with a towel in all of those images. He complained about the non-functional air conditioning inside that particular auditorium. There was clearly very poor audience management, and the number of people who were packed inside that stadium were more than double the actual capacity. There were ticketless fans who were forced in, not unheard of at KK concerts, but they also captured on camera were fans being sprayed with fire extinguishers in a very, very crazy, disturbing effort at crowd control. KK on stage, even while he was singing, he was captured on camera feeling uneasy, and then you saw him being rushed out. India Today's Indrajit was the first journalist to gain access to the very auditorium where this happened. Take a look at what he sent us.
This is the main entrance of this hall, and look what has happened to this entire place, because the caretaker showed us that the door has broken. This door, the nails have come off. The door has broken because of the amount of pressure that was created. Too many people who had actually gathered here, 2,500 capacity, almost double the number of people who had come here. And not just the door, but even concrete chunks have come off from these guard railings. If my camera person can come closer and show you that these guard railings have also broken, and chunks of concrete has come off on the floor, and the police really had a tough time, in fact, to bring the situation in control. I'll ask my camera person to hand over the pass of the program. We were showing this pass. This is what we could gather here at the location. This is the pass with which you could come and take part in the concert, and that probably is the crux of the problem, because there were no tickets, and since there were passes, and this is a college fest, a numerable amount of excited, enthusiastic youngsters, big KK fan, they all lined up here with the hope that they would be able to get an entry and watch KK live in Kolkata. And on the other side of the pass, it's written free entry, not for sale. That could have been the problem, because a lot of people entered this place. They did not have passes, necessary passes. So when they came in, they were hoping that they could somehow barge in. And you can understand, young, enthusiastic, college-growing crowd. The administration, the police found it very difficult to manage the crowd, and telltale signs of it are available. The doors broken, the guardrail broken, and since it's a newly renovated hall, so the AC was functioning at full capacity. But what the authorities told us is that when you have almost double the crowd, you can understand the kind of suffocating scenes that were witnessed inside, and that's quite visible in the way those visuals that have gone viral right now. A singing sensation KK literally telling his team that switch off some of these lights, turn them off so that the temperature cools down.
KK's cremation will be taking place tomorrow in Mumbai, a day after his death. He was given a gun salute in the city of joy, the city of Kolkata, by Mamata Banerjee and senior leaders of her government at the Rabindra Sadan. His mortal remains will be flown to Mumbai for their last rites tomorrow morning. West Bengal's chief minister personally paid tributes to the iconic singer in her city. Family members of KK's wife and children were also present during the ceremony. The cremation will be held tomorrow afternoon in Mumbai. KK passed away at the age of just 53 after that concert attended by thousands of young students. The Kolkata police registered a case of unnatural death, but like we just told you, the preliminary post-mortem indicates and rules out the possibility of anything unnatural having happened to KK. For entire generations of Indians and indeed admirers around the world, KK needs no introduction. His voice is so familiar, so recognizable. He's associated with such iconic songs, and that's the reason why when news of KK's passing broke here in India today, it felt personal for so many legions of his admirers all around the country and all around the world.
मेरे संग हम रहे या ना रहे कल कल याद आएंगे ये पल
He was just 53, a massively loved singer who crooned on love, life, passion and heartbreak. Also known for his youthful exuberance and super fit lifestyle. A non-smoker who never had alcohol, with no known pre-existing medical conditions. But iconic singer KK is suddenly gone.
रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल
The singer, who was performing at a Kolkata concert, had complained of the sweltering heat and then uneasiness. After the auditorium, with a capacity for 2,500 spectators, saw a 6,000 strong crowd turning up. KK was eventually escorted out of the auditorium. Moments later, he collapsed in his hotel. The hospital to which he was rushed declared him brought dead, with no pulse or heartbeat for the ECG test on arrival.
What happened in that concert? Obviously, a concert is like a high intensity, high energy event. And if there was a pre-existing heart disease, which he may or may not have realized, and contributing factors can be the strenuous 2 hours that he spent there, the exhaustion, and also the heat.
So fans are wondering what killed one of India's most beloved singers at this relatively young age. Several theories are doing the rounds, including heat stroke, finally a heart attack, all compounded possibly by the impact of a heavy workload. Doctors suspect cardiac arrest, possibly triggered by heat stroke and an extremely hectic work schedule in the sweltering heat.
The two significant factors that play a role in younger people getting heart disease are basically genetic, stress, which I'm sure any performer has to go through a lot, and 3, if there is diabetes, it is an added significant risk factor.
He's not the first celebrity to leave the world at a relatively young age. Earlier, TV star Siddharth Shukla and Kannada superstar Puneeth Rajkumar had also died. With Indrajit Kundu in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today. KK was from Kerala. He grew up in Delhi, he lived in Mumbai, and he passed away in Kolkata. Literally all different parts of the country became part of his life and his death. He wasn't just known for iconic songs from Bollywood films and his own indie pop albums, but also songs in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu and Kannada. Take a look at how KK's voice was so much a part of the Tamil film industry as well. Krishna Kumar Kunnath, KK's music has left an indelible mark in the sands of time. His boisterous yet mellifluous voice resonates all across the nation. Born in Delhi to Malayali parents, KK proved his versatility not just in Bollywood movies, but in a total of 8 Indian languages. An auditory treat for listeners, KK played an integral part in Collywood and Tollywood as well. For many, KK's voice defined Tamil film music era in the 2000s.
Strawberry Kanne.
KK kick-started his Tamil debut with A.R. Rahman in the 1990s with the first ever hit, Strawberry Kanne from Minsara Kanavu.
ஃப்ரிட்ஜுக்குள் ஆப்பிள் போல் இருந்தவள் நீயே தங்க தட்டில் சோறு பென்ஸ் ஏசி காரு இருந்து நெஞ்சோடு சொல்லாத பாரம் என்ன தனிமை இனிமையாக எளிமை கொடுமையாக உனது கண்ணோடு சொல்லாத சோகம் என்ன.
His collaborations with southern directors like Haris Jayaraj and Yuvan Shankar Raja resulted in several major hits that became an inseparable part of Tamil pop culture in the 2000s. He had sung the Tamil hit number Appadi Podu from Gilli in 2004, which became a pan-India and in fact an international hit.
அப்படி போடு 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 அஸ்தி போடு கண்ணாலே இப்படி போடு 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 கையாலே உயிரின் உயிரே உயிரின் உயிரே.
In 2003, he had two major hits composed by Haris Jayaraj, Uyirin Uyire from Kaka Kaka, a fast-paced song about love which launched the career of Surya as a full-fledged action hero. And Kalyanam Dhan Kattikittu from the movie Sami starring Vikram and Trisha. KK also sang the smash hit Kadal Valarthen, composed by Yuvan Shankar Raja from the movie Manmadan.
காதல் வளத்தேன் உன்மேல் நானும் புள்ள காதல் வளத்தேன் ஏ உசுருக்குள்ள கூடு கட்டி காதல் வளத்தேன்.
KK's romantic songs were also widely celebrated in the Tollywood film industry. Talachi Talachi Choose from the movie 7G Rainbow Colony.
తలచి తలచి చూసే వలచి విడిచి నడిచే నీకై నేను బ్రతికి ఉంటిని ఓ నీలో నన్ను చూసుకుంటిని.
Cheliya Cheliya from the film Gharshana was some of his most soothing and romantic Tollywood numbers. KK's legacy lives on with his music, and he transcended the language barrier with ease to give so many memorable hits to Indians everywhere in this country. Bureau Report, India Today. We've got some big breaking news coming in here on India Today in a major decision that's been taken by the government. Hindu government employees in Jammu and Kashmir are to be transferred to the district headquarters in the Kashmir Valley. Those serving in far-flung areas will be transferred to the district headquarters in the Kashmir Valley. This comes on the back of a spate of killings of Kashmiri Pandits in different parts of the hinterland of Jammu and Kashmir. The government has taken a massive decision saying that Hindu government employees in Jammu and Kashmir will be transferred to the district headquarters in Kashmir, in Srinagar. The government will provide secure accommodation to Hindu government employees. Nodal officers in the Lieutenant Governor's Secretariat will address other grievances of the minority Hindu government employees. Big decision here by the central government. Let's go straight across to India Today's Sunil Ji Bhatt joining us live from Jammu. Gaurav Sawant live with us from Delhi. Sunil, quick word to you first. Huge decision here by the government. Hindu government employees to be transferred to the district headquarters. This comes on the back of a spate of killings. District headquarters in the Kashmir Valley, which I'm assuming is in Srinagar. Take us through the details and the background.
Well, Shiv, it's a huge decision that has been taken by the J&K government. Today, a high-level meeting was chaired by Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha in Srinagar, and this decision was taken that all the Hindu government employees who are serving in the valley will be transferred to district headquarters, which means that Kashmir Valley has 10 districts. So government employees who are serving in the far-flung areas will be transferred to the district headquarters. And another important decision that has been taken is that government is going to provide secured accommodations to these Hindu government employees who are serving in different districts of the Kashmir Valley. And these are PM package employees. And Shiv, it was Dr. Manmohan Singh who had brought this special employment scheme for the displaced Kashmiri Pandits, and then thousands of Kashmiri Pandit youth had gone to Kashmir Valley, and they had taken up these jobs. But in the recent past, we have seen that killings have taken place, whether it was Rahul Bhatt, who was shot dead inside his office by terrorists in central Kashmir's Badgam district. And yesterday only we saw that Dogra Hindu was assassinated by the terrorists in South Kashmir's Kulgam district. These killings have, created fear psychosis among the members of the minority Hindu community in the Kashmir Valley, and they have been on agitation. We have seen that Kashmiri Pandit government employees have been on agitation in the Kashmir Valley. They have been demanding that they should be transferred to Jammu region, though the government has decided to transfer them to the district headquarters within the Kashmir Valley. Though it remains to be seen whether this is going to cut ice with the protesting government employees. But nonetheless, it's a huge decision that has been taken by the LG administration, and it remains to be seen that what kind of reaction comes from the protesting government employees belonging to the Hindu community in the Kashmir Valley.
Let's go across to Gaurav Sawant also on this story. Gaurav, huge decision by the government, Hindu government employees to be transferred to the district headquarters. It's almost like a code red decision that's been taken on the back of targeted killings of minority Hindus and Kashmiri Pandits in different far-flung areas of Jammu and Kashmir.
Shiv, this is a very significant step. It's a major step. Sadly, this step has been taken too late. This step has been taken after Rahul Bhatt and Rajni Bala were killed by Pakistan-backed radical Islamist terrorists. But ever since then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, started this scheme, and Hindu Kashmiri Pandits went back to the valley, they have been demanding this. They say that it's actually victimizing them all over again by posting them to far-flung areas and not even district headquarters in the 10 districts of the Kashmir Valley. District headquarters are still relatively more secure. Unfortunately, that wasn't done. It wasn't done when there were democratically elected governments. It hasn't been done now. It hadn't been done even when there was administration of Manoj Sinha. Unfortunately, after these lives were lost, had this decision been taken at the right time when the demand was being made, then maybe Rajni Bala and Rahul Bhatt would still be alive today. But I want to cut across to Ashok Pandit, a film producer, director, joining me on the broadcast. Ashok Pandit, how do you look at this step about this decision that Kashmiri Pandits or and Hindus in Jammu and Kashmir will only be posted to district headquarters in Kashmir Valley?
Gaurav, it's very important to understand the ground situation now in Kashmir. We have been demanding, and we stick to our demand of relocation to outer places than Kashmir. Kashmir is no more safe. What safe zones are you talking about? Are there any places left now? What district headquarters are we talking about? Rahul Bhatt was killed in his office, which was a magistrate's office. So the day these people decide to kill a person, they are successful in killing that person. So for time being, the demand of Kashmiri Pandit employees is that relocation to anywhere outside Kashmir, especially in Jammu. Anything apart from that is a facade. It's just killing time, and it's just wastage of time, Gaurav. You see, how do we... Gaurav, one second. How do we trust those people who had fired water cannons on us or fired tear gas shells on us? If at all the bureaucracy would have been cooperative, if at all the bureaucracy would have been attentive and towards the mind and soul towards Kashmiri Hindus and other Hindus, he would have not lost his life. They are insensitive towards us. They are not sensitive. If they would have been sensitive towards us, we would have not lost his life. What safe zones are we talking about? The only demand of ours, relocation to other places apart from Kashmir, is that we are going to stick for.
Ashok Pandit, thank you very much for speaking to India Today. Gaurav, you know, how quickly are these transfers going to take place in your view? Let me put that question to Sunil. In fact, Sunil, how fast will these transfers take place, given that the perceived danger to the minority Hindus based on which this decision has been taken is already very high? The threat perception appears to be very high already. That's why this decision has been taken. So how fast will these transfers take place?
Well, Shiv, after the killing of Rajni Bala yesterday in South Kashmir's Kulgam district, the agitating Kashmiri Pandit government employees, they gave an ultimatum, 24-hour ultimatum to J&K administration that the administration should look into their demands with all seriousness. Otherwise, they are going to, migrate en masse. They are going to migrate to Jammu region, and they are going to, indulge in mass resignation. So taking note of this ultimatum, the J&K administration, had a very important meeting, which was chaired by none other than J&K LG Manoj Sinha. And it was decided that all government employees belonging to the minority Hindu community who are serving in the hinterland, who are serving in far-flung areas will be transferred. Now, as far as the transfer orders are concerned, Shiv, it's going to happen in...
Come back to you. We've got some breaking news coming in. We'll come back to the story in just a bit. But we've got a big piece of breaking news coming in. Is Saurav Ganguly all set to quit and step down as the chief of the BCCI, the all-powerful cricketing body of India? Saurav Ganguly has just put out a social media post saying he's planning to start something new, a brand new chapter in his life, will help a lot of people. Ganguly hints at starting a political innings. There has been a lot of speculation on what Saurav Ganguly plans to do next, and now he appears to have dropped a bit of a bombshell. He says 2022 marks the 30th year since the start of my journey with cricket in 1992. Since then, cricket has given me a lot. Most importantly, it has given me the support of all of you. I want to thank every single person who has been a part of the journey, supported me, and helped me reach where I am today. Today, I am planning to start something that I feel will probably help a lot of people. I hope you continue your support as I enter this chapter of my life. Very, very cryptic, intriguing post by Dada Saurav Ganguly, leading to a huge explosion of speculation over whether he plans to throw in the towel and step down as chief of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. The world's most powerful cricketing body, the BCCI. Is Ganguly about to quit as chief of the BCCI and make a plunge into something else entirely? Could it be a political innings? Could it be something else? We don't know just yet, but all of this comes just days after a dinner that Saurav Ganguly had with Home Minister Amit Shah. Will he step down as the BCCI chief? Is that what the big indicator is at this point of time? He says in his post that he will be helping a lot of people and that he values the support of everyone who's been part of his 30-year cricketing journey. One of India's most iconic cricket stars has just dropped a bombshell signaling the next phase of a stellar career. One of India's most recognized and awarded cricketers, the chief of the world's biggest cricketing body, has dropped a bombshell saying he plans to start something new. Ganguly's googly just days after his dinner with Amit Shah. Is it going to be a political innings that Saurav Ganguly has just detonated on the public? Does this bring to an end his entire career as chief of the BCCI? What next for Saurav Ganguly? Millions of cricket fans, cricket administrators, and fans of Saurav Ganguly himself are now waiting with bated breath to wonder what comes next for Saurav Ganguly. What comes next for Dada? He's not provided any details of what comes next. All he has done is put out this social media post. Brief little social media post. Kirti Azad is with us on the phone line, legendary cricketer. Mr. Azad, What are you making of Sourav Ganguly's post, sir, saying that he's going to start something new? Very cryptic post, lots of speculation over whether he is going to be stepping down as chief of the BCCI. What do you think, Mr. Azad?
I think it's all speculation. Him stepping down and he says something big, generally people tend to think it's going to be politics. If it's going to be politics, then good. We need good people like him, and he's most welcome to get into politics. Otherwise, it could be anything, and I don't think so. Even if he joins politics and joins a political party, he doesn't have to leave the post of the president of the BCCI. Till he is a member of parliament or he's holding some office of profit, until then, he stays as the president of the BCCI, although he's extended his term over more than 3 years.
There's been a lot of speculation, Kirti sir, since many years now about Sourav Ganguly making a possible political plunge. What is your sense, sir? You've seen the way things roll out and unfold in India's cricketing and political landscape and the intersection between the two. What is your sense? Do you think it's politics next for Sourav?
Well, I think if you look at Saurav's tweets, it's always very speculative. He always keeps you guessing, like he used to be as a captain. He would keep the opposition guessing all the time what he's going to do, what's going to be the next move. So he keeps them guessing. A lot of talk carries on, like between you and me and others, and we'll carry on talking, and ultimately he'll come out and say something which we never expected it to be. So I think it's best to wait for a little while and see what he wants to do. And I'm sure this is this is Prince of Calcutta that we all know about, the great captain of India, who instilled the feelings of how to fight in the team like Kapil Dev did in 1983 with us.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy. I find it really good. He's very amusing when he comes up with such tweets.
But Kirti sir, you don't think that this is necessarily indicative that it brings to an end Sourav Ganguly's stint as president of the BCCI? Is that what you're saying, sir?
Well, it should have ended 3 years ago because this is his 6th year, I think.
Yeah.
And as per the Lodha committee reforms, he should have gone, but then they put in something, and stay order doesn't mean that you can stay in the post. So what they have done. It's not the matter to discuss now. But be as it may, what we see at the moment, that even if he joins politics, goes into any APC, XYZ party, and he doesn't hold an office of profit, a member of parliament or anything of the sort, till then he can easily stay as the president of the board and be in a political party also.
Kirti Azad, thank you very much, sir, for speaking to India today. Let's take you straight to the city of Sourav Ganguly himself. These are images from just a few days ago that set a lot of tongues wagging. This dinner where Sourav Ganguly dined with Home Minister Amit Shah. And it is just days after this dinner that Sourav Ganguly has put out this cryptic post that has led to a volcano of speculation and intrigue over whether we are looking at the beginnings of Neta Sourav Ganguly. Gaurav Sawant is with us. We're going to go across to Indrajit Kundu for a perspective from Kolkata in just a bit. But Gaurav, to you first. Very, very cryptic tweet. We don't know whether it's going to be a new BCCI chief and a new politician, courtesy Sourav Ganguly. What are you hearing, Gaurav?
Shiv, speculation, especially after the latest round of dinner with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Also the fact that the BJP's co-in-charge for Bengal, the co-prabhari of Bengal, was also in that meeting, as were other members of parliament or other leaders who were part of the BJP campaign in Bihar, in Bengal. So all of them were together, which is leading to this speculation that he may finally be donning his Neta's hat. He's been invited repeatedly. He's been wooed both by the BJP and by the Trinamool Congress. In fact, so intensive was the wooing by the BJP before the Bengal Assembly elections. You'd recall, Shiv, that he'd almost, he was under the weather. He was hospitalized. There was speculation whether he's joining the BJP, not joining the BJP. The speculation was so intense at that point of time, with TMC saying if he ever joins politics, he would actually join, Trinamool Congress because he's very close to Didi, and that is what his family has been all about. So it remains to be seen whether he joins politics, and if he does, whether this tweet, rather cryptic, 30 years of cricket, now doing something which will benefit a lot more people, whether it's about donning a Neta's hat, and will it then be a saffron roll for Sourav Ganguly? There's intense speculation after that dinner, Shiv.
Gaurav, continue to stay with me. And the pictures of that dinner with Amit Shah, very, very evocative, and suddenly they have a huge amount of meaning. Everyone's reading a great deal into this particular dinner. Indro, the very brief social media post that Saurav has put out, obviously, very understandably, has set the cat among the pigeons. It's dropped out of the blue completely, even though there has been an aura of intrigue over what Saurav's next step is going to be. This appears to be it. This appears to be the most substantive indication that, yes, something is happening
Shiv.
now.
No doubt about it. Absolutely, no doubt about it, Shiv. Saurav Ganguly has clearly set the cat among the pigeons right now. And this was on the cards. It was happening, It's not that it comes completely unexpected. You saw that meeting, that bonhomie, the dinner bonhomie with Amit Shah. The kind of relation that Saurav Ganguly shares with Jai Shah. There has been a lot of speculation. What we've seen over the past 1 year, ever since the West Bengal elections, and even before that, Saurav Ganguly was very weary of, taking the plunge. He was very cautious. He was, trying to gauge the public sentiment, because remember, he's the biggest icon, not just a sporting icon, he's the biggest icon of Bengalis right now. And he was trying to gauge the public sentiment. There was a lot of keenness from his side to understand what was going on before, the assembly elections. Now that the elections are over and you have a political dispensation in West Bengal, perhaps this has helped Saurav Ganguly make up his mind. That was going on for a long time. There was perhaps no clarity in his mind. Now probably he has one. What I'm given to understand by my sources, and this is subject to absolute correction from Saurav Ganguly's side. We are trying to reach out to him, but it seems like a possible Rajya Sabha venture. That could be it, if I believe my sources right now, because the Rajya Sabha elections are coming up, and there is a lot of speculation about a lot of renowned names given the entry into Rajya Sabha right now. And in that backdrop, make no mistake, the dinner meeting that took place just a few weeks back in Kolkata at Saurav Ganguly's residence is very, very significant. And has overtures not been made from the Trinamool Congress? Of course, yes. There have been overtures from the Trinamool Congress. The same has been made from the BJP as well. Which side will it sway? We'll have to wait for Saurav Ganguly himself to come out and speak his mind out. But it does look like possible, political foray at this point in time.
Okay, possible political foray. Is it going to be a Rajya Sabha nomination? Is it going to be something else? What happens to the BCCI? Indro, we'll come to the BCCI in just a bit. That is part B of this story. The main curiosity right now, the most tantalizing aspect is Dada kya karne wala hai? What is Dada going to do? Because as you have reported from the front lines for the last, correct me if I'm wrong, at least 3-4 years, Indro, about whether Dada is going to become Neta Saurav next?
Well, absolutely. There's so much of anticipation within people here in West Bengal. They always look up to Saurav Ganguly. Saurav Ganguly is somebody who is Dada beyond political, boundaries. His love for him, respect for him goes beyond political boundaries. He's, in a sense, a unifying force as far as Bengalis are concerned. And in that sense, Saurav Ganguly can play a much bigger role than what he is playing right now. He's the BCCI president. A few years back, he was the Cricket Association of Bengal president. He conducts a very, very popular show. So when he made a foray into television, that was huge, hugely successful over these many years. So Saurav Ganguly, the administrator, as a cricket administrator, we've had a look into his administrative capabilities. We always knew that he's a very, very sharp human being. He's a sharp Indian skipper, one of the most successful skippers that India has seen in its history. We always knew that he could be a good administrator. We've seen that he has been a capable administrator with his hat as the BCCI president and at the helm at CAB. Will he take the plunge? Because he clearly, it seems like he clearly does have that ambition. Now, as I said, we'll only have to wait for Saurav Ganguly to come and clear the air. But this is massive, and he has clearly set the cat among the pigeons right now.
Stay with me. Vikrant Gupta, who heads sports for us and, has been looking very deeply into all these eventualities, is with me live. Vikrant, give us the juice. What's the, what's the buzz on what Dada is doing next? He says, what I'm about to do is going to help a lot of people. What is this? Vikrant, explain it to us.
Oh, it's a new marketing venture. It's a new marketing venture. And he never said that he was quitting the BCCI. He never said that he was joining the politics. So it's a new marketing venture. In fact, the cricketers have been doing this. They've been associated with different NFTs. They've been coming out with their own apps. They've been doing online coaching sessions. It could be anything. I did speak to Saurav. I did speak to the BCCI also. And there was this rumor that Saurav has already quit as the board president. That is not true. Secondly, Saurav has not announced that he is joining politics. If at all it happens, whenever it happens, it's not happening today. And this tweet has got nothing to do with A, his quitting the BCCI, and B, his joining politics. It's a new marketing venture, and details of that obviously will come out very soon in the public.
Okay, so Vikrant, you're saying that all the speculation and the huge buzz around that dinner that he had with Amit Shah and the speculation that was triggered by that, you're saying that it is it's not happening. That's not what's going on. It's not Neta Saurav.
Shiv, it's not happening now. Eventually, it might. We all know that last year when the Bengal elections were around the corner, his name was doing the rounds, and the BJP did want him at that time. He pulled out. Maybe at some stage. In whatever form, you might see him donning the political hat, but it's not happening now. And like I said, the tweet has got nothing to do with his quitting the BCCI or his joining political party, any political party. Like Shakespeare said, much ado about nothing.
Okay, much ado about nothing. I think all the people who are hoping for some big buzz, Vikrant, are going to be a little tad bit disappointed right now. But nevertheless, it's always good to get a reality check because, Vikrant heads a team that only reports the facts. We might hear about all the speculation, but what Vikrant has told you is now the factual position on this. Also what this means, Vikrant, is that there's no change in the BCCI then. Nothing's going to happen there.
Not at all. Dada is traveling to England. He'll be in England for the test match that you have in July. In fact, the BCCI has just made arrangements. They've been making arrangements now as we speak, wherein the board secretary Jay Shah and the board president Saurav Ganguly would be traveling with the team for the test match. So, like I said, no change at all. No change till September. He is the board president till September, and depending on the court case, whether or not he can get any more extensions, we'll get to know. But, again, I think the tweet has been misrepresented, and that has been because Mr. Amit Shah, the Home Minister, went to his place in Calcutta, had dinner with him, and then, people did put two and two together. Eventually, that might happen, Shiv. Eventually, that might happen. We all know that maybe at some stage he may even be nominated for the Rajya Sabha. But that is not happening today. And like I said, this tweet has got nothing to do with that.
Thanks very much, Vikrant, for putting that into perspective for us. Well, dragged back down to earth by the cold, hard facts, but nevertheless, that's what our prime responsibility here is. And we're happy on India Today to set the record straight. It's not going to be Neta Saurav Ganguly. It's not going to be him quitting the BCCI. It's not a political career just yet, but we'll get you the facts. We're also going to try and get a first word from Dada as quickly as we can. That's a wrap on 5 Live. Thanks for watching. On the other side, singer KK's post-mortem has just taken place. New details on how the actor died. That's next.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.